What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today I wanted to give you an update on what I'm carrying inside of my everyday drone backpack. Now, I love watching videos like this because it gives me the opportunity to see what gear other people are using to kind of make their workflow easier, and then I can take bits and pieces of what they use to then make my workflow easier. So hopefully taking a look at what I've got inside of this bag is going to help you make your entire shooting experience on the daily a whole lot easier. Now, the first big change to my setup here is the backpack itself. It's Moment's 21-liter camera bag, and it's a pretty big downside from what I was using in the Peak Design 30-liter everyday bag. Something that I really wanted to achieve with this overhaul of my everyday carry was to find something that was a little bit smaller and more manageable, especially again for a bag that goes with me literally everywhere. I think that the tipping point for me was when I brought my 30-liter Peak Design bag into the mall, and I felt like I was just out of place. It felt really large, bulky, and I felt like I had a big turtle shell on my back. So I was able to cut out things that I didn't absolutely need, and it's taken some weight off of my shoulders quite literally. And this bag here, the 21-liter Moment camera bag, makes great use of the space available. Now, the way that I have everything sectioned off in this bag is shooting gear in the main pocket. So this is the largest area to store your biggest items. And then I've got back-end computer, storage, and file management stuff in this slim pocket towards the back. I can grab this stuff really easily on the go. And then finally, I've got some smaller items that I grab frequently in this front zipper pocket. So to take a deeper dive, everything I have sitting on the table in front of me here is located in that back slim pocket. All of this gear is what I use to manage files, data, and all of that fun behind the scenes stuff. So by far, out of everything I have sitting on the table here, my M1 MacBook Pro 13-inch is what gets the most use, and I'd probably say abuse, because I use this thing 24/7. I'm always transferring files, editing photos, editing videos, sending messages, watching YouTube videos. I mean, everything goes through this computer. It is my daily driver. It's my main workhorse. I come back, I plug it into a larger monitor, and I've been really happy with the performance that this new Apple Silicon, the M1 chip, is delivering editing photos and videos. My main workhorse for the longest time was a fully spec'd out 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro, and this was really serving me well. I didn't think that I wanted to really upgrade, but it just stopped working one day and I had to upgrade. So I went with the M1 chip. I kind of took a leap. I made a full video on how this fits into my workflow as a photographer and videographer, because this new chip does change a lot. I'll put a link in the top right corner if you want to check that out and learn a little bit more about this computer in depth, but I've been very happy with it. It's my daily driver, my main workhorse, and it serves me very well. Now, to go along with the computer, I've also got Apple's Magic Mouse, the Magic Mouse 2, and usually I wouldn't carry a mouse around me, but I kind of figured that after using it a lot on my computer, the mouse was a quicker way to get things done, so I throw this inside of my bag just for longer computer sessions on the go. And also, to go along with the computer, I've got some dongles. Of course, with the MacBook Pro, you've got to carry a good amount of dongles, but to kind of trim down on what I carry, I just carry a USB-C to USB-A and a USB-C to SD card adapter. I feel like those are the only things that I ever used, so that's what I carry with me. Now, to complete some relatively smaller tasks, I also carry around an iPad Mini 5, so this is great to edit photos and videos on the go. I can pop in a Lightning to SD card reader and just dump everything I have onto this iPad, and then I can make some preliminary edits, or I can do some quick edits while I'm on the go without having to use my larger laptop or the smaller screen on my iPhone. And another reason this is great as a drone flyer is because I can use it to fly my drones. It is the perfect sized screen when using DJI's stock controllers for their drones. The iPhone can sometimes be a little bit too small, and the larger iPads like the iPad Air or iPad Pro can be a little bit too big and cumbersome, whereas the iPad Mini 5 is the perfect screen size, and it's also the perfect screen ratio. So when you're using an iPhone that's a little bit taller of a screen, it's a little bit more narrow, sometimes the information about the drone, whether that's like the flight data along the top or along the bottom, can get in the way of what you're seeing and what you're shooting. But with the iPad, the ratio is so perfect because it sits just above that screen of what you're looking at through your camera, so you can nail that shot every time without having any distractions. Now, to go along with the iPad Mini 5, I've also got the Apple Pencil, just the first generation, the one that's compatible with the Mini 5, and this is great for editing on the go. It gives you more finite control of like the sliders in Lightroom. You can brush in Lightroom, and also LumaFusion. This is great to kind of drag and move clips around. This just gives you overall more precise control. I don't really draw or take notes, but again, this is kind of like the mouse that I carry for my computer. This is like a mouse for the iPad. Now, I also carry around a Verizon 5G hotspot. I could use the hotspot from my iPad or my iPhone, but I find that having a dedicated hotspot gives me faster speeds, and also I don't drain the battery on any of my devices, so it's a dedicated hotspot and it keeps me connected while on the go. That is huge. And finally, data storage. I have two SanDisk 2 terabyte SSDs. I think it's their Extreme Pro SSD, Extreme Portable SSD. The reason I've got two is because I keep YouTube stuff on one SSD and I keep my work stuff on another SSD. It just kind of keeps them separated. And the reason I went with SanDisk over all the other great, I guess, SSD manufacturers out there is that I use their memory cards, their SD cards, and they've never failed me. So I go with SanDisk because it's what I trust, and these are great. They're small, portable, light, they're fast. They really are just perfect for on-the-go storage and editing. So moving on here, there are a few slim pockets on the outside of this bag, which is where I stash some of the things that I use very frequently, those being a power bank and some hand warmers. I know that talking about portable power banks is never the most fun thing to do because at the end of the day, it's just a battery, but the reason that this power bank from Goal Zero really stood out to me is because of the way it charges my devices. That's what makes it so important to me. So you've got a USB-C port on the front here with an output of a maximum of 60 watts, so I can charge my MacBook Pro while on the go. It's not like a slow trickle charge, or it doesn't make the battery just die slower. It actually charges it at a full rate, so that is great. Also, I've got two USB-A ports for some relatively smaller devices, and also it's got wireless charging on the top here, so I can charge 4 devices at once, one through the USB-C, 2 through USB-A, and I can throw like a phone or my AirPods on the top to wirelessly charge those. So this has been a great power bank. I've used it for a little over a year now, and it's been perfect for everything that I need to do. Whenever I get to a hotel, I throw this on the table, I charge everything through here. It just makes things so easy. Now, I've also got these hand warmers, and for those of you living in the South in the United States, you might not need these, but for me, living up here in the North in Philadelphia, these are a lifesaver. They're made by Okupa. They've got 3 different modes, low, medium, and high. They also act as a power bank, so you can charge things off of the ports here. It's actually got a really good array of ports. They've got USB-C, USB-A, and micro USB. So literally any port that you can need, it's got here, and it can charge your devices, smaller devices like an iPhone, but the biggest thing about them is their hand warmers. And for me, flying drones on the regular, I've got to keep my hands nice and warm, so I'll turn both of these on high, put them in my sweatshirt pocket, and keep my hands warm. They save me so many times, and they're also good for not only drone flying, but just anytime you're out in the cold. Throw these in your pockets and they're going to keep your hands nice and warm. So now I want to go ahead and jump into what I carry in my main pocket, which is where I keep everything that I shoot with. It's all of the larger items that I bring along with me. I think the coolest thing I've been able to do in this overhaul of my setup is repurpose Moment's camera insert to kind of be a drone insert, or a small drone case that fits inside of my larger backpack. So I'll move these things here to the side. Again, this is Moment's camera insert. It's 5 liters. It fits inside of their backpack, the camera backpack. It kind of resembles like a cloth ammo crate. It's got handles on the side so you can pick it up and you can kind of pull it out of your bag. And it also has a rigid design. So if you smush it or if you kind of drop it, it's going to protect what's inside. It's made for camera bodies and lenses, but if we zip it open, I carry drones inside of it. I've got the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic Air 2 over here on the side, and on the other side, I've got extra batteries. I've got 3 Mavic Air 2 batteries and 1 extra Mavic 2 Pro battery. Now, you might be wondering, why do I carry around 2 drones? Well, because I primarily shoot photos and videos with drones. It's for redundancy and overall preference. I would rather shoot photos with the Mavic 2 Pro, and I'd rather shoot video with the Mavic Air 2, so the fact that I can choose from both to get the best looking photo and video is really great for me. So that's why I carry around both. That's kind of a short, I guess, crash course in why I carry 2 around, but overall redundancy is also great. Moving on here, I'll discuss the smart controller. This is what I use to fly the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic Air 2. It's great because it's one controller to rule them all. I don't have to have space for 2 different remote controllers, or I don't have to set up 2 remote controllers. I set up 1 remote and I fly both of my drones. It's great. I made a full review on it. I'll put a link up there in the top corner. It is a little bit pricey. It's a little bit expensive, but it's definitely worth the money if you're going to be flying every single day. It saves you time and it's a much better flight experience. Now moving on here, we'll do this one. This is their tech insert from Moment. Again, it's sold separately to fit inside of their Moment camera bag. And inside is an absolute mess of cords. On one side, I've got everything to charge my smaller devices and connect my smaller devices, USB-C cords, an Apple Watch charger, lightning cords, micro USB cords, an aux cord in here. I've got an Ethernet adapter as well as a lightning to SD card adapter. And on the other side, I've got chargers for my drone batteries, both the Mavic Air 2 and Mavic 2 Pro. And I've also got back there some extra propellers for both drones just in case I crash while on the go. The final little case that I carry inside of that main pocket in the backpack is this Rode Wireless Go system. I've got the transmitter, the receiver, I've got the lapel mic, as well as the cord to plug into my camera and some small little dead cat attachments and some extra clips. I carry it inside of this case I think that I bought on Amazon, but it's such a no-brainer. This is so small and easy to carry with you that if I've ever got to capture better audio on the go, I can with this very small system. Moving on here, last but not least, these are some of the final items that I keep inside of that front zipper pocket inside of my backpack. So I've got an extra Sony a7 III battery here. It's the camera that I'm shooting on right now. I've got some Moment-made variable ND filters. These are great. They're kept in a nice separate metal carrying case. I've got 2 for the Mavic Air 2 and 1 for the Mavic 2 Pro. I just don't need all that much variable ND range with the Mavic 2 Pro because it has that adjustable aperture. I've also got an SD card holder. Of course, everybody needs one of these. This is great because it can hold up to 32 micro SD cards. I don't think I'm ever going to be carrying around all that memory at once, but it's got a ton of space for all the cards that you need. I've got a square card reader in here. This is kind of more of a personal thing. This is good for accepting payment from clients on the go from like credit cards and debit cards and Apple Pay. So I keep this with me as a just in case. And finally, I've got my MacBook Pro charger, but this isn't the stock MacBook Pro charger. This is actually a brick made by Aukey. It's capable of outputting 100 watts, and that's great because it's a nice small package. So I can charge up my power bank really fast, that Goal Zero power bank. And also I can fully charge my MacBook Pro 15-inch or 13-inch with this small little charger. This is much better than the stock charger. But yeah, guys, that is about everything that I carry inside of my everyday drone bag. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope you could take some of the gear that I use and implement it into your workflow. If so, let me know what you found most useful down in the comment section below. Everything also will be linked in the description if you want to check it out. Yep, and that's all. As always, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.